The deep ocean was never meant to be alive. No sunlight reaches here. No warmth from the sun. No seasons. No photosynthesis. No easy energy. Only darkness. Only pressure. Crushing, relentless pressure, hundreds of times greater than anything experienced on land. Enough to deform metal. Enough to collapse human lungs instantly. And yet, life is here. For most of human history. The deep ocean was a blank space on our maps. A depth we could not measure. A darkness we could not enter. We assumed that below a certain point, life simply stopped. Even as biology advanced, the logic seemed sound. Life needs sunlight. Life needs oxygen-rich water. Life needs energy that arrives predictably. The deep ocean offers none of these in abundance. So scientists believe it was largely barren, an underwater desert. That belief survived until technology finally allowed us to descend. As the first submersibles sank into the abyss, the cameras did not reveal emptiness. They revealed movement, soft shapes drifting where nothing should move. Creatures with fragile bodies floating effortlessly in water dense with pressure. Mouths stretched wide, limbs thin and delicate, light appearing where there should be none. The deep ocean was not silent. It was alive, and it was alive in ways no one expected. Temperatures hovered just above freezing. Food was scarce. Most organic matter from the surface is consumed long before it reaches these depths, leaving only fine particles, marine snow, drifting downward like dust. By every rule of surface biology, this ecosystem should starve. But it doesn't. Instead, deep sea life operates on a different economy. Energy is precious. Movement is expensive. Nothing is wasted. Many animals here move only when necessary. Some may go months or years between meals. Their metabolisms are slow, tuned for endurance rather than speed. In the deep ocean, survival is not about winning. It is about lasting. Cells themselves are adapted to impossibility. Under crushing pressure, proteins fold differently. Membranes remain flexible instead of breaking. Enzymes are chemically tuned to function, where most biological reactions would fail. This is not life barely surviving. This is life optimized for extremes. Then came the discovery that changed everything. Along the deepest parts of the seafloor, where tectonic plates pull apart or collide, seawater seeps into Earth's crust. It heats, reacts with rock, and erupts back into the ocean in towering plumes. Hydrothermal vents. The water here is superheated, toxic, laden with chemicals that would poison most known organisms. And yet, these vents are crowded. Dense communities of life cluster around them. Giant tube worms with no mouths. Swarms of shrimp, crabs, fish. At the base of it all are bacteria that do not rely on sunlight. They feed on chemistry. They convert hydrogen sulfide and methane into energy, forming the foundation of entire ecosystems. Chemosynthesis. Life without light. This discovery shattered a fundamental assumption. The sun is not the only engine of life. Energy can come from the planet itself. The deep ocean is not just a refuge for life. It is proof of life's flexibility. If life can exist here, in darkness, under crushing pressure, feeding on poison, then life is far more resilient than we imagined. And the deep ocean may not be the exception. It may be the rule we never understood. We descend further, into zones where bodies themselves begin to look unreal, and evolution pushes biology to its absolute limits. As we descend deeper, the ocean begins to abandon familiar forms. Fish stop looking like fish. Bodies soften. Bones thin or disappear entirely. This is the midnight zone and beyond, where survival is no longer about power or speed. It is about efficiency. In shallow water, animals evolved to chase, to flee, to compete. Energy is relatively abundant. Mistakes can be corrected. Muscles are thick. Skeletons are strong. But in the deep ocean, every movement has a cost. So evolution makes a different choice. Many deep-sea animals are gelatinous, up to 90% water. Their bodies are soft, flexible, almost fragile. But this softness is strength. Water does not compress, and neither do they. Pressure passes through them instead of crushing them. In these depths, rigidity is a liability. Some creatures lose bones altogether. Others reduce muscle mass to the bare minimum needed to drift or ambush. Their bodies are built not to fight the environment, but to disappear into it. And then there are the mouths, teeth like needles, jaws that hinge open impossibly wide, stomachs that stretch far beyond the animal's original size. Food is unpredictable here. When a meal finally arrives, it cannot be wasted. Some fish can swallow prey larger than themselves, a gamble that could take weeks to digest, but might be the only chance they get. Eyes tell a similar story. Near the surface, eyes are tuned for color and detail. In the deep, color vanishes. Red light is absorbed first, then orange, then yellow. What remains is blue and darkness. Some animals respond by growing enormous eyes, capable of detecting the faintest traces of bioluminescence. Others take the opposite approach and lose their eyes entirely, saving energy by abandoning vision. Instead, they feel vibrations, pressure changes, chemical traces in the water. Senses are redistributed, not enhanced. And then there is color, or the absence of it. Many deep-sea animals are transparent, their organs faintly visible as they drift. Transparency makes them nearly invisible in water that reflects no light. Others are coated in ultra-black skin, absorbing over 99% of the light that touches them. Bioluminescent flashes that would reveal most animals simply vanish against these surfaces. In the deep ocean, being seen is often a death sentence. Bioluminescence itself becomes a language. Light is used to hunt, to lure, to confuse, to communicate. Some animals produce gentle glows. Others release sudden flashes to startle predators. A few generate complex patterns, signals in a world without sound. This is not decoration. It is survival. Even reproduction adapts to scarcity. In a world where encounters are rare, some species ensure they never lose a mate. Tiny parasitic males fuse permanently to females, becoming living reservoirs of sperm. Others release clouds of eggs and hope that chemistry, currents, and chance align. Every strategy is extreme. Every body is a compromise. What emerges from this depth is not elegance. It is necessity made visible. Life here is stripped down to function. Nothing extra, nothing wasted. Every trait exists because it had to. The deep ocean does not allow excess, and yet it allows persistence. We follow the energy that sustains this hidden world, and uncover how life survives when food itself becomes the rarest resource on Earth. In the deep ocean, hunger is constant. Food does not arrive on schedule. It does not grow nearby. It does not replenish quickly. Most of the time, it does not arrive at all. At the surface, energy rains down every day in the form of sunlight. Plants capture it. Animals feed on plants. Ecosystems are built on abundance. But below a few hundred meters, that system collapses. No sunlight reaches these depths. Everything that lives here depends on what falls from above. Dead plankton, fragments of plants, fecal pellets, occasionally a fish. This slow drift of organic debris is called marine snow, and it is barely enough to survive. By the time marine snow reaches the abyss, most of its energy has already been consumed. What remains is thin, scattered, and unpredictable. For deep-sea animals, starvation is not a threat. It is a default state. So life adapts, not by finding more food, but by needing less. Metabolism's slow to a crawl. Growth is gradual. Movement is deliberate. Some animals may go years without eating at all. Time itself stretches. Then, sometimes, the ocean delivers a miracle. A whale dies. Its body sinks through the water column for hours, sometimes days, until it reaches the seafloor. Tens of tons of flesh arrive at once. A sudden, overwhelming feast in a place defined by scarcity. A whale fall. Within hours, scavengers arrive. Sharks, hagfish, crabs. They strip the carcass quickly. Then come smaller organisms, worms, mollusks, bacteria, each stage lasting years. Entire ecosystems bloom around a single corpse. When the last nutrients are gone, life fades again. The abyss returns to hunger. But whale falls are rare. Most of the deep ocean survives without them. Instead, it relies on efficiency, so extreme it borders on stillness. Some animals drift endlessly, conserving energy by letting currents carry them. Others bury themselves in sediment, waiting motionless for prey to pass close enough to justify movement. Predators do not chase. They wait. And then there are the places where food is manufactured from nothing we would recognize as nourishment. Hydrothermal vents, cold seeps, chemical oases in the dark. Here, bacteria convert toxic compounds, methane hydrogen sulfide, into usable energy. This microbial life forms a base of entire food webs, independent of the surface world. Life feeding on geology, ecosystems powered by Earth itself. This changes how we define habitability. If life does not require sunlight, if it can survive on chemistry alone, if it can persist for decades with almost no energy, then the boundaries of life expand. The deep ocean becomes not just an environment, but a test, a demonstration of how little is truly required for life to exist. But even here, survival comes at a cost. Growth is slow, reproduction is rare, recovery from disturbance can take centuries. When deep-sea environments are damaged, they do not bounce back. They endure or they vanish. The deep ocean lives close to the edge, balanced between persistence and collapse. And this raises a difficult question. If life here survives by being slow, fragile, and patient, what happens when sudden change arrives? We confront how resilient this hidden world truly is, and whether its adaptations are enough to survive a rapidly changing planet. For millions of years, the deep ocean has remained largely unchanged. No seasons, no weather, no sudden shifts. Evolution here moves slowly, measured not in years but in millennia. Species adapt over vast stretches of time, fine-tuning their bodies and behaviors to an environment that rarely surprises them. Stability is their greatest ally, but that stability is an illusion. The deep ocean feels distant, isolated from the surface world, hidden beneath kilometers of water, protected by pressure and darkness. In reality, it is connected to everything above it. What happens at the surface eventually sinks. As the climate warms, oceans absorb heat. Warmer water holds less oxygen, and that loss reaches even the deepest layers. Oxygen pore zones expand downward, slowly squeezing life into narrower margins. At the same time, surface ecosystems change. Plankton populations shift. Food webs rearrange. Less organic matter sinks to the depths. Marine snow grows thinner, scarcer. For animals already living on the edge of starvation, small changes matter. Then there is disturbance. Deep-sea mining scrapes the seafloor for metals essential to modern technology. Bottom trawling drags massive nets across ancient habitats. Noise from ships and exploration travels farther underwater than sound does in air, filling the deep of vibrations it has never known. These ecosystems evolve for stillness. They are not built for disruption. When damage occurs in the deep ocean, recovery is slow, if it happens at all. Corals that grow millimeters per year can be destroyed in seconds. Vent communities that took centuries to establish can vanish overnight. Some species may disappear before we even know they exist. Extinction here is silent, and yet, despite everything, life persists. It always has. The deep ocean has survived asteroid impacts, ice ages, mass extinctions. It has outlasted entire worlds on land. Through it all, life adapted, not by becoming stronger, but by becoming patient. Endurance, not dominance, is its defining trait. This hidden world forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Life does not need comfort. It does not need abundance. It does not even need light. It needs only a narrow window where chemistry, energy, and time align. The deep ocean exists in that window, a reminder that life is not fragile in the way we once believed, but it is vulnerable to sudden change. And perhaps that is a lesson. If life can thrive in darkness, under crushing pressure, feeding on poison and scarcity, then our planet is more alive than we imagine. But if even these ancient, resilient systems can be undone by rapid disruption, then survival is not guaranteed. Nothing about the deep ocean is supposed to support life, and yet it does, quietly, patiently, against all expectations. The question now is not whether life can survive the impossible, but whether we will allow it the time it needs to endure.